Have you ever wanted to be able to make your digital images look like film? With the film costs rising out of this roof, it's more expensive than ever to shoot on the celluloid medium. However, nowadays we're able to use tools on our computer to make our digital work look exactly like film. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Dehancer plugin. Now, Dehancer is not sponsoring this review. No money changed hands, but they did provide us with a 1-month free license of their product. So let's go ahead and try Dehancer out. If you end up liking this product and want to check it out for yourself, please use the promo code Vault Studios, all one word, during your purchase. And at checkout, if you want 10% off your order, use code Vault Studios. Using this promo code kicks a little bit of your purchase back to us as a channel, and it allows us to keep creating content. So if you do want to check out the software, make sure to use the program code Vault Studios. Without further ado, let's jump into this review. Now, to be able to do this, I want to make a music video look exactly like 16mm. So let's flash upstairs and go ahead and make that video. Welcome to the onset portion of this Dehancer plugin review. Now, I'm trying to match 16mm film so I can get a really good one-to-one comparison between the work that I've shot on 16 and us trying to match this digital to true 16. So right now we're upstairs here at Bloom Records above the Vault Studios, and we've gone ahead and lit this to try to emulate the way that I would light 16mm. I have a very big, powerful light right above me. This is a 500-watt light at about 40%. Behind me, I have a little accent light right here, which is emulating some of this background, trying to give a little bit of texture here. And I'm using this bar right behind me to go ahead and give me a little bit of a backlight. In terms of my camera, I am running my Sony Venice 1. I'm running it at a base native ISO of 500, and I'm running a 0.3 ND in it. Now, I really wanted to use the Venice because it has a lot of dynamic range in a way that I can really play with the colors from it. To be able to do this review true justice, I'm wanting to give the best of the best tools to see how close I can get it to 16. Beyond that, I'm also wanting to make sure that I'm shooting at the ISO that I will be matching my stock to. So I'm wanting to shoot for a Kodak Vision 3 500T look. So I am correctly white balancing my camera to 3200 ISO at 500. And then since my space is so illuminated, I'm putting a 0.3 ND in so I can get my exposure correctly. And then what better way to match 16mm film than with lenses from the 40s? So instead of using modern glass here, I have a set of the Carl Zeiss Jennas from the mid 40s. These are all from Jena, Germany, and I have a 20, 35, 50, 80, and 135. These are going to be able to make sure that I'm having the same kind of color rendition with the fall offs and everything that you would be getting from 16mm looks, because these lenses were from the time when film was used. We're not using modern glass here, even though we're using a modern camera, we're still getting the look that you would be getting from shooting on film. So I'm going to be going ahead and taking these lenses, using them for this film. Beyond that, I really like these lenses for the way that they handle color and the way that they handle contrast, and having this really nice subtle micro contrast that give your looks a really just pleasant way that they roll off. And these lenses also are really nice even if you're just doing a digital look. So we're going to be going ahead and comparing the way that I would color grade this if we did this music video digitally, doing it with Dehancer, and then comparing it to work that I've shot on 16 to get a real sense of how Dehancer is working. Okay, our music video has been edited and I want to take a look at this Dehancer plugin. So let's open up DaVinci Resolve 19. Okay, so I'm in DaVinci Resolve 19 here. I have my footage pulled up and I'm here in the color window. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dehancer. Now, to be able to do this, I'm going to throw a quick color space transform on. Now I'm going ahead to start grading just as if I was getting 16mm film scans back from the lab. This would be using Cineon Film Log. Now I'm going to throw on another node here, and we're going to go ahead and put on the Dehancer plugin. And wow, immediately we're seeing a crazy different look to our film. Now it's bringing in the source of Rec 709, so I'm going to do Cineon Film Log instead, and it's really pulling a crazy look. To me, this doesn't look like film. This definitely is starting to look like something that was added on later. It's kind of just looking like poor film grain immediately, but let's take a look and see how good we can get it. So it's pulling up 250D from Kodak Vision 3, but there's a ton of stocks in here. There's somewhere around 60 film looks like that they have built into here. So my favorite is Vision 3 500T, and immediately a lot warmer. I mean, you can just see right here, if we're starting with what I'm inputting and then where it's taking it, it's really keeping the warmth that it has, but it's really upping the grain and the patterns all around her hair. Now there's not a lot of anything else going on besides it just looks like it's adding in a heavy, thick layer of grain. Let's play with some other stocks. So Agfa 100, interesting. It's making it a lot greener. Cine still 500D. The warmth is still there. Pretty sizable grain here. 800T, a lot warmer. The grain, I'm not seeing, maybe a little bit of a shift in the grain. We could try Fuji, let's try Fuji Velvia 100. A lot greener. Now the grain's looking very similar to me, but it is definitely changing the color look of the film. I want to try some stuff like Ektar 100. It's looking pretty green here. Looking not horrible, but I don't think it would be ever turning something directly into a client just using the base stuff here. Kodak Portra 400. Yeah, I think my take immediately is when you throw it on, the grain's pretty heavy. Okay, let's just work with Kodak Vision 500T. Now my input I'm going to leave the same, and I'm going to come over here to the film is the same, developer we're just going to go off, film compression we'll leave the same, the expand will leave the same, print will leave the same. We'll start here with the grain. Let's come up to 16mm 500T since I have shot 16mm 500T before, and this is crazy noisy compared to what I normally get out of my 16mm 500T. So let's bring this down from 70 to 30. Okay, that's looking definitely better. 20 maybe? 20 is feeling a lot better. We'll go like 25. Okay, halation. Let's see, I want to just crank it to 100. We're going to put it on 16mm and turn this on and off. You can definitely see it's going on and off the light. So there's our light normally. There's with the halation added on. Definitely doing what I would want it to do around the light. If I take off the no remjet, wow, it's adding a lot. The halation is definitely a large part of the 16mm film look, so seeing it being able to add on digitally is pretty interesting. It's adding on a lot, especially at 100% with the no remjet layer. I mean, you can just look exactly around the dress, her hair, the lights. There's a pretty lot going on. I want to leave it on with standard 16, remjet off, and I think we're going to make it like 40%. Still adding a little bit, it's being nice, it's definitely helping to add to our look. We'll do 25. 25 is nice. 30. Okay, we'll stay with 30. Let's go to the bloom. Going back to 16, I want to take it all the way up to 100%, see what it's doing. Holy cow, it's blooming a lot. I think you can tell exactly what's going on with this bloom. It's definitely adding in like a pretty big mask. If you look around, like the light stands and stuff like that, it's definitely blooming specific areas of the image. So I think we'll just keep our bloom at like 25. We'll go maybe 35 on our bloom. Enough to add some where it helps. And we will add some damage on just for the sake of this video, but I think we're gonna go, you can kind of see how it's doing. The more you strengthen, you can see some of those dust particles really growing in size. Like there's one right there. So I think we'll leave this at like -50. Overscan, you can enable it. Oh, it's just adding in the film borders. So it's just cropping off and adding that in. You can, choose what you want. But that's nice that that's an option to have overscan. Okay, so let's pretend that this is what we're working off. This is like what I got back straight from the lab is this 16mm film look. Now, immediately what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into my customs, my curves, and I'm going to bring it there. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Bring it up, just a pretty standard S curve. Pop into my log, just gonna offset it up. I'm gonna bring my highlights down. And I'm gonna bring my shadows down a little bit. Now I'm feeling it is definitely pretty warm, so we'll bring it somewhere in here and make it just a little touch greener. You can see exactly what we're doing here. That's feeling nice. We'll add some more contrast in. It's making my red pretty heavy, so I'm gonna come into my hue versus hue and just take the red down a little bit. Somewhere in there with my red. It's definitely interesting looking at this, and if we take all of the nodes that we've added and turn them on and off, it's definitely doing quite a bit. I mean, you're adding in a lot of stuff into the image. It's taking a very clinical, clean digital image. I mean, shot on the Venice, there's a ton of information here, and it's adding in a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's fully looking like 16. I think I'm gonna have to mess with it, get something a little bit different, and figure out if I really like it, but quickly it's doing a lot.
I sit here and think about your eyes burning into mine. I blush, turning red, 'cause I'm thinking about those long nights.
Now beyond this music video that we did, I actually went ahead and did this Dehancer test. I'm gonna play this for you right now, and you tell me which one's done with Dehancer and which one's done with just the stock DaVinci plugins. Now, if you guess the first one's done with the stock DaVinci plugins, you would be correct. Now, the stock plugins got me really close, but one thing that I didn't end up adding, which I realized that I should have in the past, is adding in some film damage. But besides that, they look very close to each other. Now, Dehancer's adding in a lot more colored shifts than just using the stock plugins from Resolve. The stock plugins aren't really adding in any shifts, they're just adding in film grain, halation, those types of elements. Versus Dehancer, which is really trying to make it emulate that film stock that you're choosing. So for something like this, which is trying to emulate Kodak 200T, it's actually really warming it up and bringing it into different looks. Now we have this upcoming short film, which I've completely done using the Dehancer plugin, and I'll be adding in a little bit of a trailer from that film into this video. This film took me a couple hours to grade, and I really got the understanding of how it was to work with Dehancer. Now, this film was shot before we agreed to do this collaboration video, so it was shot with the idea of making it look like a digital horror film with adding a little bit of grain in post, but I ended up going ahead and grading it with Dehancer since I wanted to really try the difference out. In shots like this, you can really see what I am doing in DaVinci Resolve, and we'll just go node by node. First here, I'm actually converting to a Rec 709. And then from Rec 709, I'm converting using Dehancer into all of my effects. You can see here turning on, I'm working in a 709 space, emulating Kodak 250D actually. I'm changing my black point and my white point, keeping my print the same. I'm going for a 35mm look, and I've just brought down my film grain pretty significantly while keeping my halation around 48%. I'm keeping my bloom also around the 40%, taking down my film damage all the way, keeping my film breathing actually at 100, and then I'm taking my gate weave down to 20%. From there, I've gone ahead and used my log wheels to add in some temperature and contrast adjustments, and then done another log wheels to adjust my exposure. I'm then doing a hue versus hue curve here, just very slightly to bring my yellows down. I'm doing an S curve here, and then finally I'm using my color warper to fix my skin tones a little bit. And that all brings me to this final image. Now throughout this whole short film, I'm mostly using this basic node tree, and I'm going in and adjusting each shot individually using things like the hue versus hue tool and the color warper to make sure that the skin tones and colors overall are doing what I need them to do so it all feels like a coherent matching scene. Some shots I feel like look a lot more like film. Something like this, I think it's the mix of the sunset with the kind of blown out highlights on their faces, which is looking a lot like film to me. Versus shots like this, which are a little bit more underexposed on their faces, so to be able to bring it up, I actually had to go in and use a log adjustment. This is something that is very standard to do in digital filmmaking, but when doing it, you run into issues which feel kind of more uncanny towards film looks, where your shadows and highlights don't match. This is very much a digital look in the digital roll-off versus film, which you'd probably be blowing out almost all of your highlights. Now, when we shot Good, I completely shot it with this whole idea of doing this video in mind. I really wanted it to be able to match 16mm the best that I could, so I specifically put light sources in the frame to be able to tell how it was working with these different elements from Dehancer. Now, I think the sources don't roll off exactly like they would. These sources are blown out, but the way that they blow out is pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this lamp over here in this corner, and we can see the light bulb is blown out, but the shade really quickly falls off into not fully being blown out. It's really different than film, how this would completely just blow out and then it would probably ramp off somewhere around here with not blowing out. So it looks really different. This Good music video looks a lot closer because I was in the mindset the whole time of wanting it to make sure that I was working like film. And I think that's where Dehancer really shines. Working with digital to film converters really starts to shine is when you're doing pre-production and making sure you're thinking through the whole process. I'm thinking through how I want it to look, so I'm making sure to light it in a way, expose in a way, and really be conscientious around how I'm filming so I can make sure that I'm mimicking film the best I can. But there's still some things that are missing. It's still the roll-off to your highlights, which aren't there. They're different than when you're looking at film. This is a true 16mm film shot. And let's just look at the raw image here. Even here, this window right here in the background shot on 16mm just doesn't fully blow out. And I didn't blow the window out purposefully. But if I add in my gray to it, it's a really subtle roll-off. So I think when thinking about mimicking film to digital, the roll-off is one thing that digital cameras still struggle with. They still look like a digital roll-off, not a true film roll-off in the highlights. For me, that's one of the only things that's kind of tricking my eye up and not believing that it's true 16. But that's not an issue with the plugin, that's just an issue within cameras and the way that they work. What are my true thoughts on Dehancer? So Dehancer Pro, which is what we've been using in this video, costs $549 for a lifetime subscription. If you want a 1-year subscription with 3 seats, it's $299, and then there's a 1-month and 3-month subscription. Also interesting to know that if you are in Final Cut, After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, or any of these other plugins listed here, you have to go with the 1-year subscription. The lifetime only works for DaVinci Resolve. Now, I was able to get something pretty close with just using the stock plugins from DaVinci Resolve. So is it worth that $549 price tag? I think this is a yes and no answer. Now, my attempt to do it fully in DaVinci Resolve, I think got you about 96% of the way towards what Dehancer got. But it also took me about an hour to get there versus when I was grading with Dehancer to just get my film look there, it's about 2 minutes. I'm just dropping on my plugin, I'm going through finessing a few sliders, and now that I've worked with it on a couple different projects, I know exactly where I want my sliders to land. The first time it took me 10 minutes to get something I was happy with, and now when I was grading the short film, it took me about 2 minutes to get my plugin dialed in, and then I could just grade on top of that. So it was really quick. So I think it's more of a question around time saving. Go with Dehancer if you want to save the time, if you don't want to finesse it. Or go with Dehancer if you're a beginner and you don't want to have to go through DaVinci and pull all the different effects and all the different plugins that they have built in to get that look. But if you want to save the money, you can get something very close within DaVinci Resolve stock. Personally, I think after this video, I do think I will be continuing to actually go ahead and purchase Dehancer for future videos that need to look like 16mm. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the 1-month subscription and just use it for those projects, or if I'll go ahead and buy the lifetime subscription. That will yet to be seen. I think for right now, I'm just gonna go on the month-to-month basis when I need the plugin. But if I ever do come to need the plugin a lot, I will go ahead and put the $600 down. To me, saving that hour of time is definitely worth it. Now I wanna take a quick sidestep to actually talk about their app. And their app is a really compelling offer since it's so cheap. It's $5 a month if you just want to do photos, and it's $10 a month if you want to do photos and videos. So here's actually a shot from the music video that we did, and I'm able to come in here, choose my source, and they actually have a complete plugin for the Sony Venice 1. So I'm able to convert this straight here, and then I can come to the film looks that they have, and I can select any one that I want. And for doing a quick grade, this is a super easy way to get a great look. So I'm actually able to come in here, choose codec 500T, which is what we converted in DaVinci Resolve. And they have all of the sliders that I was using in DaVinci Resolve on my computers in the app. So I'm able to come around, play with the size of my film grain, play with the size of my halation, play with my bloom, and I'm able to get these film emulations to work on my phone super quickly. On top of that, I'm also able to do photos. So this is a photo that I just took straight on my phone. I'm able to use all of these different film stocks that they have here and convert the photo taken on my phone to look like film. So if I want CineStill 800T, I'm able to choose that. I can then come through each of my sliders and adjust it to look like CineStill. Can crank up my halation, can crank up my bloom. And what's great about having this on the phone is it's super quick and easy. So if I wanted to make something quick for Instagram that looked like film, I'm able to pop in here and do that super speedy instead of having to go to my computer. And it's crazy to me that on their phone app, they have everything from the highest high-end cameras like Venice and Arri on this app, all the way down to the basic consumer Sony, Canon, and all the other brands' cameras. For me, this wouldn't replace using the desktop version, especially for something like this music video, because my phone can't read the files from the Venice, so I have to bring it into DaVinci Resolve, export it, and then import it on my phone. But if I wanted to shoot something on, say, my FX30 really quick for social media, and I wanted it to look like film, I can import the files quickly into here, do a quick color grade fully in the app, send it off to things like CapCut, edit it, and then upload it straight to social media. The app's not trying to replace the desktop version. It's just providing a really nice alternative to people who are content creators, social media posters, to work on their phones and tablets and be able to do the film emulations without having to know everything that goes into using softwares like DaVinci and fully doing color grading in there. And I really appreciate the cheaper price that comes with the phone app. I will say I am really happy with Dehancer. And Dehancer was a program that was on my radar before they reached out to us to do this review. It was something that I really wanted to try out, but definitely the price tag kept me back. So being able to try it out for a month was awesome. And honestly, I will continue to use this program on my own personal projects on the month-to-month subscription. I've had friends that have tried to replicate film using the built-in effects, and they've done really well, but every time I've talked to them, it just comes down to, oh, it took me 2 hours to use the built-in effects to get this look, and a lot of grading knowledge. So the fact that Dehancer has made it really simple into just a couple sliders really justifies that price in my mind. I think it's really worth that if you're wanting to save the time. It can be done in Resolve, and I've seen incredible work that people are pulling off of just using the stock plugins in Resolve. It just comes down to how do you want to use your time. Do you want to just drop in a plugin, pay some money, and then you can grade really, really quickly? Or do you want to use your time to have to build out the plugin by yourself using the stock things? Both do a great job at it. It's just up to you of how you want to use it. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below for the music video that we graded with Dehancer. And when the short film that we used Dehancer on comes out, I'll leave it in the pinned comment. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below for Dehancer. If you end up liking this product and want to check it out for yourself, please use the promo code VaultStudios, all one word, during your purchase. And just as a reminder, you get 10% off your final order when you use our code VaultStudios. Using this promo code kicks a little bit of your purchase back to us as a channel. All of your favorite content is made possible through programs like this and your support on the YouTube channel. So if you do want to check out the software, make sure to use the program code VaultStudios. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on which softwares you want us to test out next. Have a great rest of your day.